Hello and welcome in the third part of my video about the gameplay of Blitzkrieg 1939 Guderian, and we are playing Chojnice scenario, which is the first scenario of this game, and we finished the first day of the battle, and now we are going to play day 2, which is the last day of the battle. So in the first day Poles suffered some heavy losses. They lost 3 infantry squadrons, 2 artillery units and 1 anti-tank platoon, so they are in the not very good situation. They received a little reinforcements with 1 company of the light reconnaissance tank, or rather tankettes. So Germans are doing their job quite well, and the question is, what are they going to do next? So let's zoom a bit, so everything will be better to see. And we are starting with the turn 1 and the German actions. So let's do them. I'm going to start with this reconnaissance unit. So they move. There is a town here, so I have to check town hex for the wheeled units, so we have to pay. This is town, so they have pay +1. So it is a road terrain, so we have 1.5, and because of the town there is 2.5, and now we are on the main road. 2.5, 3, sorry, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and they are going to try their surprise attack, but this is going to be harder because first we are attacking enemy of the, which has strength of 3, and also they are in the woods. So we are using column 4 and 6 because we have 4 points and a defender has 3, so we are using this table, and because of the woods we are moving one verse up to the 1 and 3, and I'm going to make 2d6 roll. It is 8. It is 8, so it's nothing. So I have to stop my movement here, and that's all I can do. And because of that movement I managed to capture 2 other Polish towns, which is good. I'm gonna mark them with my captured hex counters. This and that are captured by Germans. And now this group, they are moving 1, 2, and this town is captured now as well. These guys are going to join them, while these guys will be riding 1, 2, 3, 4 along with them. I will try to capture this part of the city, sorry, of the town. So 2, 6, 2, 6. I am going to attack from this hex, because if I would attack from this hex I would have to attack this and that stack, and I would like to attack this stack exclusively, so I'm going to launch my attack from this hex. And now my artillery, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they are in the range, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so they are in the range, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all my artillery units have this hex in the range. This is good, and now I think that's all I can do. Yes, that's all I can do. So now there is a Polish counterattack phase, so Poles might launch any counterattacks if they want to, but I don't think they have any good options to do it, because well, and they might try here, but these are only 2 companies, so attacking this German infantry battalion which is in the town would be, well, quite a disaster, I believe. So there is not much chance for Poles to do anything good here, so we are skipping Polish counter-attack phase and we are moving to the German attack phase. So here first we're going to resolve our combat here. We have 4, and this unit has, need to check, because Germans suffered some losses, so they are not as strong as they were at the beginning of the game. So we have 7, and Polish cavalry unit has 2. So we have 3-1. Because of the combat engineers it goes to 4-1, and Poles are in the entrenched, so it is 3-1, and they are in the raw terrain, so it is 2-1 again. We are returning to our initial odds, and then we are going to the combat table and making a roll. It is a 6. 6 in the 2-1 is B1. And because Poles are not allowed to withdraw, because all the possible hexes are in the zone of controls of the German units, Poles are suffering 1 strength point loss. And now let's check their losses after combat. Germans had 7 strength points, and they have -2 because of the entrenchment and because of the raw terrain. So there is 2 and 3 verse. It is a 3, oh, that's good. So Poles are suffering another 1 strength point loss. And now Poles, they had 2 strength points and +1 because of the entrenchment, +1 because of the raw terrain, so it is 6-10. It is 5, so Germans suffer 1 strength point as well. Okay. Next combat is going on here. Notice that we have 2 units that have fire combat value, so they can fire on each other. Well, their weapons are pretty weak. Might zoom a bit so you will be able to see. Both Polish tankettes and German armored cars have firepower of 1, and their armor is 3 and 3, so they will both fire with -2. So first for Germans 10 they missed, and now for Poles 9 they missed, so they weren't quite effective in this combat. And now let's count the odds. Germans have 2 infantry battalions here. They have, each of them has 3 strength points, so they have 9. And the Germans have this reconnaissance unit has 4, so Germans have 10 strength points. Poles have 3, so it is 3-9. So this is 3-1 for Germans. Each side has 1 star, so we can ignore it. And this is a wood, so this is -1. So we move to the 2-1, and the roll is 9. So it is 9, so it is nothing. Poles are successfully holding their ground. So let's check losses. Germans had 10 points, and we move 1 back, 1 up because of the wood, so it is 4 and 5. And I rolled 4. So Poles are suffering 1 loss. And now Poles, they had 3 strength points and +1 because of the wood, so they have 4 and 5 verse, and I rolled 5, so it is a miss. Okay, that was all for this combat, and now we are going to the probably most important battle in this phase. So I'm using these 3 artillery units to support it, so I have 15 of them because of them, and now I have 19, 23, and 27. So I have 27 strength points against 27 against 3. So 27 against 3 is 9 to 1, and I have 8 to 1 because of the entrenchment, and 7 to 1 because of the town. So I have 7 to 1, and I rolled 4, which is a very good result. In the 7 to 1 it is B3. So Poles have to retreat 3 hexes, and notice that they have to retreat through the Minor River. And when you retreat to the Minor River, you lose additional strength point. So 1, 2, 3, and I have to give them additional step loss, and the Germans are moving 1, 2. You may ask why. Okay, I should. Okay, that would be good. Because this is a motorized unit, and when motorized unit crosses the river, even in pursuit, it has to stay on the first hex on the other side of the river. It cannot follow on. And these 2 battalions are moving here, capturing this hex of the Chojnice. Okay, and now let's calculate Polish losses. Germans had 27, and we are going to use 26-30 verse, and -1 because of the entrenchment, and -1 because of the town. It's 60-20 verse, and I rolled 10. 60-20, it's 2. So each Polish unit suffers 1 loss, and because of that, Polish HQ is eliminated. It is quite painful when you play with supply rules, because headquarters are often supply centers for the units, but since in this scenario we don't use supply rules, then this is not a big problem for Poles. And now German losses. Poles have 3 points, and we move 2 steps down down because of the entrenchment and the town. And I rolled 7, so it is nothing. Germans suffered no losses. So that's all when it comes to the German combat phase, and we can now play Polish actions. So what Poles might do? I think I will entrench these tankettes, and now I'm going to move here with these 2 companies, here with these combat engineers, 1, 2.5, 4, and 5, 1, 2.5, and now they 1.5, 3, 4.5. That's all for Poles, and I'm not sure if Poles are about to perform any attack. Oh no, yes, they do. They want to attack here, and as for first German counterattacks. If we have to launch any, I don't think so. Germans are not in the position to launch any successful counterattacks. So that's all for German counterattack phase, and now we have Polish attack combat phase. So 1, 2, 4, and 5. So Germans have 5 strength points against 2, so it is 2 to 1. Thanks to the combat engineers, they have 3 to 1, and because of the woods, there is 2 to 1. There is 2 to 1, and I rolled 7, so it is B1. So defender has to retreat 1 hex. And notice that German armored train cannot retreat, because the only railway hex that it could move is here, and it is in the enemy zone of control. So this German armored train has to suffer one step loss. Okay, and now let's make a roll for losses. Poles had 1, 2, okay, 4, 5, minus 1 because of the woods. So they rolled 3. So Germans suffer one step loss, and it was the one last strength point of this Panther armored train, so it is eliminated. So that's good for Poles, that they managed to eliminate this evil armored train that entered Poland disguised as the civilian train, and its soldiers massacred some of the Polish citizens at the railway station at the beginning of the war. So that's the fitting revenge. Okay, and that's all for the first turn of the second day of the battle. So let's start turn 2, and now as for we are starting with Germans, and I think that I might try to capture this last one, hex of Chojnice, but it will be harder because there are Polish machine guns here, and when infantry attack machine guns, it has its strength halved, so it can be a problem for Germans to capture this Chojnice, the last remaining hex of Chojnice. So they should do something else, like for example trying to capture some of the remaining town hexes on the board. Like for example, what they can do. There is such a hex, so I think I might 1, 2, 1, 2. They would return here, and they would help them in such an attack. And now my artillery. I have my artillery out of range for this hex, so I should move it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they will be moved. They will use only a half of their strength, but still it is good. Oh, I shouldn't move this battalion here, because if it would enter this hex, it would have to attack this stack, and it wouldn't be a great idea. So I have to mark that this hex was controlled by Germans by the last time, because they were the last unit. Their units were the last one who were there, so it's worth to remember. And now there is a Polish counter-attack phase, so Poles are some about to launch their counter-attack anywhere? I don't think so. No, they don't want to counter-attack, so Germans are attacking. First here we have 7 against 1, so it's 7 to 1, 8 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 7 to 1 because of the entrenchment, and 6 to 1 because of the road terrain. I rolled 4. In the 7 to 1 it is B3, so Poles cannot escape this hex, so they are eliminated. And still I have to make a roll for possible German losses. Poles have 1 strength point, 1 of the entrenchment and 1 of the road terrain, so it is 4, 5, and I roll 8, so no losses for Germans. Okay, yet another combat goes here. First I have to make a die rolls for fire combat between these two Polish tankettes and German armored cars. It will be -1 for each of them. Poles and Germans managed to score a hit. So Polish armored cars are hit by 1. So they have now 1 strength point, so they are not going to do well. So let's resolve this combat. We have 2 German battalions and each of them has 3 strength points, so we have 6, and this reconnaissance unit has 4, so we have 10 to 1. So it is 10 to 1, minus 1 because of the entrenchment and minus 1 because of the woods, so there is 8 to 1. It is 8 to 1 and we have to make a roll. It is 3. Wow, Germans are lucky. It is B3, sorry, no, B4 even. So Poles are made to retreat 4 hexes, 1, 2, 3, oh, not with entrenchment, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Germans are moving 1, 2, 3, and they are capturing this town, and so they managed to successfully block Polish road, Polish way to escape, so the Polish units are essentially encircled. So I have to make a check for German and Polish losses for this combat. Germans had 10 strength points, they have -1, -2 because of the woods and entrenchment, and I rolled 8, so Poles managed to withdraw without any losses. And Poles have 1 and +3, +2 because of the entrenchment and woods. And they rolled 6, so Germans suffered no losses as well. So that's all. Oh no, there is one more combat here. Have to check German strength. It is 90 in motorized regiment. So they have 11, and each of these units has 3, so they have totally 17, and 17 against... oh no! Oh, these are machine guns. So German strength is halved. So we have 2, 4, and 6. 6 plus 6, it is 12. It is 12 against... let's check the Polish strength. It is 3. 12 against 3, it's 4 to 1. And it's 3 to 1 because of the town. So it's 3 to 1. 7 is rolled. 7 in the 3 to 1 is B1, so defender has to retreat 1 hex. Germans are capturing this town. And let's calculate losses. Poles had 2 points and +1 because of the town. It is 5, so Germans suffered no losses, and the Germans had 12 strength points and -1 because of the town. They rolled 10, so Poles are suffering 1 strength point loss. Okay, and that's all when it comes to the German attacks, and we can move to the Polish movement phase. As you can see, Poles are pushed in this small area of the board, while most of the other hexes are controlled by Germans. So I don't think that Poles can do much now, actually. They might fortify their positions a bit, just to keep themselves off from being eliminated. And that's all I can do now. So that's all, and this concludes turn 2, I believe. Yes, I think this concludes turn 2. So we can move to the turn 3. Turn 3 is night turn. So my idea is not to launch any attacks anymore in this game when it comes to the Germans. I think I managed to capture enough victory points to win this game. So I'm just let's say that I'm just fortifying all my German units, and they are not going to attack Poles anyway. And Poles are not about to attack Germans because they can't. So let's finish the game and count victory points. So as for Germans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So Germans have 12 victory points. As for Poles, if we play today's scenario, then each town is counted as 3 victory points for Poles. So 3, 6, and is there any? No. So Poles have 6, while Germans have 12. So Germans are winning. So yeah, I guess it's not a very big surprise, since after all it's 1939. It's a Blitzkrieg. So Germans were about to win, but I have to say that my plays of this battle where Poles were actually winning because of the successful die rolls and so. So that's all when it comes to this video. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe it's not my last video of this game, because there's much more battles and much more scenarios in this game, and that's what I like when game comes with multiple battles. So see you later, and I hope you enjoyed.